Basically, green building is constructing or remodeling in a way that has less of a negative impact. You try to reduce the amount of impact construction has on the environment, which, as you can imagine, building a new home, it has a massive impact on the environment. You have mud and water runoff into sewers, and just the way the home ends up being constructed, is it insulated well? I mean, you're adding another home to the grid that has to be powered. You're adding another 4 toilets to the sewage system, showers, all of those things. You can imagine every time a home is built, something is going to impact the environment. As builders and remodelers and people in the construction industry, we have to realize that we're having a negative impact, just as factories and whatnot that put pollutants into the air. All of these things have negative impacts. The majority of manufacturers now are realizing this. That's why there's low flow toilets. That's why instead of just the flush on the toilet, now you have 2 options. Simple things like getting programmable thermostats that can turn up while you're away and down when you're home automatically. So there's 3 kind of main categories that I would hyper focus on if I was trying to make some simple changes. Energy usage, simple things like turning lights off when you leave a room. Water usage, do you have a toilet that's running? So are you leaving the water on while you brush your teeth for no reason? And the third one is materials. I mean, if you're doing a small remodel to your home, do you have to buy new doors? Can you go to a salvage yard and find new doors, to an architectural place nearby that has doors that you might be able to reuse, things like that. If you're pulling drywall out, you may as well put spray foam insulation back in the walls. It completely reduces draftiness of your home and it'll make that remodeled space so much more energy efficient. There are a lot of materials up front that don't cost more money. Now, if you're looking at the more long-term payoff things like solar panels or geothermal heating and cooling, those things do have a higher ticket, but when do they pay off? If they pay off after 5 years and you're gonna live there for 30 years, doesn't it still make sense? Getting KCMA certified cabinetry, which means that they're built with renewable products like lumber that comes from a forest that's sustainable. The paints and stains that are used to finish those cabinets do not off-gas, which means they're like either 0 or low VOC. There's a lot of opportunities to reuse old materials, and I think Karr Bick does that a lot, where we'll pull old pocket doors and old architectural elements from even salvage yards into a project if they make sense. Even if you're not remodeling, there's things you can do. One thing I would suggest doing is getting a HERS rating test, where you can call an energy efficiency expert, where they come to your home and they do a blower door test. So they test how tight your home is, and then they'll have suggestions on how to tighten it up after getting the test results. Green building should be important to everyone. Responsible building practices need to be happening. I feel like a lot of times in the Midwest, we're the latest in the United States to adopt these new philosophies, these new ways to do things. Even in fashion, we're behind in the times, maybe 10 years behind. I mean, this stuff is happening on the coasts already, and it's happening in 25 other countries that are above the United States when it comes to things like this. It needs to start happening here so that we can have a better world for our kids in the future.